Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and today I want to show you how to make the easy chevron granny square blanket. This is a really fun and easy project. I think it can be accomplished easily by a beginner, and you will be learning some new skills as well in the process. Both how to crochet 3 stitches, 3 double crochets together, how to do a single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease, and some other skills as well. And if you're a seasoned crocheter, I don't have to tell you just how much fun an easy repeat project can be, especially when changing colors. This is also a really fun project if you have a lot of extra balls of yarn around that you're just not sure what to do with. You can combine them all together and have a very beautiful multicolored stash busting project. Well, if you are brand new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any notifications from all the projects that I regularly upload. Well, let me go ahead and show you what you're going to need for this project. For this project, I'm going to be using Paint Box Yarns Simply Chunky. Please take note that this is the Simply Chunky yarn and not the worsted weight. Okay, this is 100% acrylic. Each of these balls of yarn has 136 meters or 149 yards. This is a number 5 or bulky weight yarn. The number of balls for each color will be listed right across the bottom of your screen. I'm also recommending that you have a size J or 10 or 6.00 millimeter crochet hook, as well as a pair of sharp scissors and a yarn needle handy. Well, let's go ahead and begin. To begin, we're going to start with a slip knot. I will try to go slowly here. Let me pull that through and tighten it. Now, if you need additional stitch support for the beginning stitches, check the video description below, and I do have a playlist of all the other projects that are beginner level as well as the stitch videos. They will be at the bottom of this list. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is to chain 178 chains. That is a lot of chains. So let me show you one of my strategies for keeping up. I generally go by 5s. I do 5 stitches at a time. It's just easier for me to count that way. So far I have 10, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now what you can do to help you keep track is to use stitch markers. These are these little removable stitch markers. Another thing that works are extra earrings. You may have just one earring in your earring collection, and if they're the type that clip closed, then you can use those. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I've done 25 chains, so I'm going to put a stitch marker there. And so what I will do is chain 25. Every time I chain 25, I will simply add an additional stitch marker. If you don't have these fancy little stitch markers, you can also use a contrasting piece of yarn and just tie a little loose bow or something in that 25th chain. And you just continue this until you get to 178. So that would be 7 sets of 25 chains plus an additional 3 stitches. All right, so let me go ahead and I will complete my starting chain. Okay, now I have my starting chain of 178. Now, oftentimes with these projects, people want to know, how do I make it bigger or how do I make the project smaller? Let me go ahead and give you that information right up front. This particular design is a multiple of 35 plus 3. So if you want to make this 1 chevron smaller or however many chevrons smaller, you simply subtract 35 stitches for each chevron you would like to remove. If you want to make this even wider, additional multiples of 35 for each chevron you wish to add. Just add that to the original starting chain. Okay, well, let's go ahead and go on to row number 1. We're going to start in the second chain from hook, and we're going to work a single crochet. I am just going to work alongside of the chain here. You can work in the back bump if you'd like, but I prefer working along the side. Okay, so we are going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is a single crochet. We're going to work that in each stitch all the way across. Again, hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So go ahead and work this all the way across. It will be row 2 where you will begin to see the chevron taking place, or taking shape rather. This is not that row, but at the end of this row you should have a total of 177 single crochets. So after completing those 177 single crochets, we are going to turn to have the back side facing. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip the first 3 stitches, and if you're not sure how to do that, look at the tops and you'll see these V's. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th we are going to work 3 double crochets just like this. We wrap the hook, stick the hook in under the V, under both of those loops, pull up a loop so you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We are going to do that a total of 3 times in that same space. Wrap the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that one more time. Okay, and again, if you need additional stitch support, check the video description below, and I will have a listing of additional videos if you are brand new to these stitches. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to do that again. We're going to work 3 double crochets worked right into that same stitch. Okay, so you have 2 clusters completed at this point. Let's do this again. Skip the next 2 stitches and 3 stitches in that next stitch. Okay, so now we have a total of 3 clusters. We have the chain 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3 clusters. Okay, so we're going to do this until we have a total of 5 clusters. So skip the next 2. Another 3 double crochets worked in that next stitch. So that's the 4th cluster. And then skip 2 again. And in that next stitch, we work the 5th cluster. Okay, I'm going to go very slowly and deliberately here. So you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters, and you should have skipped 2 stitches in between, and you should have skipped 3 stitches at the beginning here. This is kind of important, and it can affect the stitch count. All right, so now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to make the peak of the chevron like this. So working in that 3rd stitch, we're going to work 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work an additional 3 double crochets, all worked in that same space. And I'll show you what I have right now. So that top, you can see where this is going to be the peak of the chevron. So now it's going to be working our way down the slope although there's not really a slope yet, but there will be. We're going to, again, skip 2 stitches, and we're going to work a total of 4 clusters working in this direction. So we have 3 double crochet, skip 2, and then 3 more double crochets. I am speeding up a little bit, but I am just making the double crochet, and then skip 2, 1, 2, and then another cluster of 3 double crochets. Okay, so far we have the corner up here, or the top of the chevron. Then we have 1, 2, 3 clusters. We need to make 1 more, and then we will make the valley. Okay, skip 2, 3 more double crochets. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 stitches, and then the next stitch we're going to do something different. We're going to double crochet 3 stitches together, and I'll take this very slowly. We're going to wrap our hook in the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, wrap the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 3 loops on your hook at this point. And do that again. Wrap the hook, stick the hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you should have a total of 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on the hook. Wrap the hook and pull through all 4. That is working 3 double crochets together. Okay, so now we're going to skip 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and in the next stitch, in the 5th stitch, we're going to work another one of these double crochet 3 stitches together. So let me go ahead and back that up and do that again. So we wrap the hook, stick the hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do that 3 times. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook. And so now we have essentially created the dip or the valley in this large chevron. And so now we are going to, this is going to be the repeat. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to work a cluster, which is 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We're going to do this 4 times. Okay, so or we're going to make 4 normal clusters. So that's 1, skip the next 2, and another cluster, which is 3 double crochets worked in the same space. That's 2, skip 2, and then this is the 3rd. So that's the 3rd cluster. So now we have the 2 of the 3 double crochets together. Then we have 1, 2, 3 clusters, and then we're going to do 1 more. Skip 2. Okay, so now we have 4, and just like we did at the top of that last chevron, we're going to skip 2 stitches, and we're going to make a corner at the top, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets worked in that same space. Okay, so let's say what we have so far. We have the peak, or the top of the chevron here, then it goes down,
And we're working our way backwards here and up, and then the edge. Now, if you followed me so far and it's not going up, down, and then up, then maybe you need to back up this video and try again. So let me go ahead and do another example going down. Skip 2 stitches, and we're going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We're going to do this a total of 4 times in between the peaks and the valleys here. Skip the next 2, 3 more double crochets. Yeah, I'm speeding up just a little bit because this is pretty redundant. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and another cluster. Skip 2, and this is the 4th cluster. 1. And when you're working these foundation rows, once you get going down the road on this, it'll be much easier. But when we're establishing the foundation on this row 2, it's very important that we do this correctly. So we have our corner, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters. Now it's time for us to do the set of the 3 DCs together. So skip 2 stitches. We're going to work. When you do part of that double crochet, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this next stitch, we're going to work another. I'll take this a little more slowly. We wrap the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, do that 2 more times, wrap the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, wrap the hook, pull through 2. You should have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. And then again, we will skip 2 stitches, and then we'll work 4 clusters, skipping 2 stitches in between, and then skip 2, and then work another corner. So go ahead and repeat this all the way across. You should have a total of 5 chevrons. I will show you the last end of the chevron, which will be worked going down. I will show you how that ends, and then show you how to go on to row number 3. After working the chevrons all the way across the row, we have the corner of the last chevron here, and then we work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters down that side, skipping 2 stitches as we've been doing all along. And then we have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and we're going to work a double crochet worked in that last stitch, just like so. Okay, now we're ready to work row number 3. And row number 3 is going to show you how to basically work the rest of the rows for this project. The only difference is after working 4 rows with the clusters, we will be switching yarn colors, and I will show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and turn. And for the record, there is no back side or front side. This is a completely reversible project. Here we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first stitch, and we're going to skip the first cluster. And what we're going to be doing from now on is working in between the clusters. So the first cluster is going to be worked right here between these 2 clusters from the previous row. So we work 3 double crochets right there. And notice how the edge here will be a straight edge, and we will work some rows to optional rows on that edging towards the end, but I will show that later. Okay, so we're just going to work in between the clusters. Simply work 3 double crochets, and next cluster here. And I think you're going to find this more relaxing and enjoyable, whether you are a beginner or an intermediate crocheter. This can be quite a relaxing and enjoyable project to work on. It does take some bit of a learning curve to get the first 2 rows established, but once those are established, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so again, we're just working those 3 double crochet clusters in between the stitches. And let's go ahead and take a look. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them along the first side as you begin. And then when you come to the corner, you are simply going to work another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets, all worked in the same space. Let's stop and take a look at that. And then working our way down the side, we will work a cluster in between the other clusters, but we are only going to be working 4. And I'll show you what to do at the bottom of the chevron. So that's the second cluster. And let's do the third. And then we're going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so how many do we have now? So we have independent clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is what is unique, what we're going to do before the 3 clusters that are, or the 3 double crochets crocheted together. We're going to do another 3 double crochets crocheted together in that one space, just like we did before. And then we're going to skip the center space. Do not work anything there. And then in the place on the other side of the other, which is the valley of the chevron, we're going to do another 3 double crochets together. Okay, let's stop and take a look at that. So as we go down the chevron, after the corner, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters, and then we have the 3 double crochets crocheted together. We skip the area between these 2 at the bottom, and then we do another 3 double crochet together in the next space. And this is how we formed the valley or the dip in the chevron. And then we just go up the chevron and repeat this all over again, just working in between the clusters. And again, you're going to have a total of 4 of the regular 3 double crochet clusters going up and 4 going down. That's as you work across. The only difference is at, let me show you, at the beginning and at the end of these chevrons, you will have a total of 5 clusters going down, going up here and then going down the other side. Again, that is only the last chevron. So let me just go ahead and continue working this up. I'll just do one more repeat of this. Again, I'm only working 3 double crochets in between. So let's take a look. And here we have the 3 double crochets together. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters worked going up. We come to the corner and you can clearly see that this is a corner. Now, if you need additional help so that you don't accidentally only work 3 double crochets in these. What you can do to remind yourself that this is a corner, again, this is optional, is you can just put a stitch marker right there, and that'll remind you. You can do that in all of the corners, and that'll remind you that when you get to these chain 3 actually corners, you work 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then if you'd like to take this out and move it to the next chain 3 space, that's absolutely fine. Or you can just go without. It really is up to you. So that is the repeat all the way across the row. So again, after the corner, we will do clusters 1, 2, 3, 4, worked in between the 4 more clusters. And then in the next one, we work 3 double crochets together, skip that middle space, 3 double crochets together, and then 4 more clusters worked in between the previous clusters. And then when you get to the corner again, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. So go ahead and work that all the way across, and I will show you the last couple of stitches. So now as I work down the last side of the chevron, the last chevron, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters. And in the last space here, we're just going to work a double crochet. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And that ends row number 3. Now the remaining rows are a repeat of row number 3, but I'll go ahead and start this one again for you. I'm going to chain 3. We're going to skip this first space and skip the first cluster, and then begin the pattern all over again. So we work the first cluster there, and we work 4 more clusters up the side of the chevron. I'll go ahead and work these. That'd be the third one. And the 4th. And the 5th. Let's take a pause there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we are ready to work the corner. And then after the corner, we'll work 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters, and then we work 1 set of the 3 double crochets together, skip the middle, and 3 double crochets together, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters up the side, and again a 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, corner again. So again, this is row number 4, which is a repeat of row number 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work row 4 and row 5, both again are the same as row 3, until I have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters, or 4 rows with the double crochet clusters, and then I will show you how to change to the next color. At the end of row 5, I'm going to work a double crochet, but before I complete that last half of the double crochet, I'm going to bring in the new color, which is the medium colored blue of the 3 colors, and then I'm just going to continue on with the pattern stitch with a chain 3 and turn, and then I will work 4 additional rows, repeating row 3 with this new color. And already I can tell that I really do like this color change. Now before going forward, we will need to trim the darker color, and I am one who does not mind knots, especially since I am going to be working a perimeter round, or around at least on the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and tie these in a nice knot so they don't, just like that, so they don't come loose on me. And I will work 4 more rows in this color. Once I finish those 4 rows, I'll show you what I have before I change to the lighter color. But so far, this is really enjoyable. So I'm going to finish 4 more rows again, which is a repeat of row number 3, and then I'll show you what I have. This is what our chevron looks like after completing a total of 9 rows. Of course, row 1 was just the foundation row, and then the next 4 rows, or the first 5 rows rather, with the blue, and then the remaining 4 rows with the medium blue. Now, as we go forward, each section will be a total of 12 rows. It'll be 4 rows with the dark blue, 4 rows with the medium blue, and 4 rows with the next color that we are going to be adding in. So let's go ahead and work this double crochet just halfway, and then we're going to bring in our new yarn color right like so, and then go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to resume the same pattern that we've been working on for the last 8 rows. So we work the clusters just like so. And so I will work 4 rows using this light color, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this medium blue color. Make sure you leave a long enough strand so that we can work these in, and I'm going to tie them in a knot because that's what I prefer to do. If you don't like to use knots, you can certainly use another method, but this is not going to be a problem because we are going to work some stitching along the edge as a trim. Okay, so let me explain what we're going to do from here on out, since again we are only repeating row number 3 again and again. So we have the 4 dark blue color, 4 medium blue color, and then we're going to work 4 rows of the light blue color. So this is rows 2 through row 13 once we finish these 4 rows. And then so what we're going to do is repeat rows 2 through 13 until the blanket reaches the length that we desire. And I'll show you how many rows that I do once we get past this little section here, and I will show you the completed project before the video is finished. So go ahead and just continue. Work 4 rows with the light color, and then repeat again 4 with the dark, 4 with the medium, and then 4 with the light until the blanket is the size you desire. Okay, I've completed the chevron portion, and I'll put across the screen there the approximate length of this project at this point. Now let me show you the optional edging. Now this edging I have worked only along the sides to help cover up the the part that had the strands, and I'm going to show you that side in just a second. And let me also show you how I tapered this, and I'm going to show you how to do this so that it continues on in the chevron shape. On one end, it's going to we are going to be adding additional stitches, and on the other end you can see that we have added, or actually used, decreases to help with the angle to just keep that consistent with the design. Well, let me go ahead and show you the other side, but I just wanted to give you a vision for the completed side, and you can see that I've worked 2 rows of each color. Again, this is an optional finish. You can be completed with the project right now without doing this, but I think this would add a lovely touch to the edges. Now, before we start working along this edge, we do have quite a number of strands to hide, and I'm going to just give you a little quick demonstration on how I will hide this strand. I'm going to hide all of them, of course, but let me go ahead and show you how you can do this. You basically want to hide the strand into your work. So I'm going to bring this up. Okay, so that's okay there. So let me go ahead and run it under some more strands. And then I'm going to bring it up here. And one thing I like to do is I like to have it go in a couple of different directions just to make sure that it is nice and secure. So I'm going to bring it back down, and then I'm going to run it under all 3 of these stitches. And this is a great way to hide these, see, under these little clusters. And once I pull that tight, then I give it another pull back the opposite direction, and then clip very carefully so that I clip the yarn but without hurting my stitches. So I'll go ahead and do this one as well and all the others along the edge. And then once I do that, I'm going to show you how to begin these optional finishing rows for the edges. So to begin, we're going to join our yarn. I'm going to go ahead and work a slip stitch, and then join with a chain, and I'm going to work 2 single crochets in that very first stitch, because this is on the edge that is the elongated or pointed downward, and we want to have our increases on this side of this stitching. And then we're going to work a single crochet in that next row, and now working along the chains, the chain 3s and the double crochets. This is what I do consistently along the edge. 3 single crochets along the chain, and then 2 along the double crochet. So hopefully you can see the difference. So we have another chain, so we're going to just alternate 3 single crochets over the chain, and then 2 over the rows with a double crochet at the end. And you can already see how this is covering up all of the yarn changes. So 3 single crochets along that row end, and then 2. So go ahead and alternate that all the way along the edge. Now, if you're finding that your stitches are too bulky, you can either, well, I would recommend that you would just change to 1 size smaller hook if that is a problem. Okay, so we just want to make sure that this is nice and even along the edge. So I have worked these single crochets, alternating again 3 single crochets over the chains and 2 single crochets over the rows that end with the double crochet. And then for the last row end, I worked 2 single crochets. Now let me show you. This is the side with where the chevron goes up. So what we want to do again is we want to have this side matching that same angle. So what we're going to do for the second row, using this color, we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn. After turning, instead of working just 1 stitch in each, we are going to begin the row with a single crochet decrease, just like this. I'm going to go ahead and do that again, just in case you've never seen a decrease like this before. What we do is we pull up a loop in the first stitch, and then pull up a loop in the second stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2. And you can see this is going to give this a nice angle. So whenever you are working with the back side facing, although honestly this particular throw is reversible, but the back side, as far as just these rows go, just to help to define one side from the other. And then we're going to work single crochets in each stitch all the way across. And I'll show you what to do when we come to that last stitch, because at the end of this row we are going to be switching to the medium blue color. Okay, so as we work all the way across the row, I have worked a single crochet in each stitch, and I have worked part of that single crochet in that last stitch, because before I complete this, I'm going to bring in the second color, which would be that medium color. And let's go ahead and chain one. And we are going to just hide these strands in a bit. So after that, we're going to turn our work. Now remember, if you can see, this is the edge that is, let me go ahead and show it to you from this angle. Okay, so this is angled up. So this is the edge where we added 2 stitches, 2 rows before. So whenever you add the new color, this will be for this medium blue and for the light blue. So the 2 rows that I'm going to show you now, you'll just repeat them again with the lighter color. At the beginning, after you've added the color, go ahead and work 2 single crochets in that very first stitch. Again, increasing, just continuing on with the angle of this edge. And then we're just going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch until you get to the last 2 stitches. And I'll show you what to do again once you get to the last 2 stitches. Okay, also you could go ahead and just trim the dark blue color before you continue across the row. Once you get to those last 2 stitches, and you can see that this is the part where the chevron diminishes, we're just going to work a decrease by pulling up a loop in each of those 2 stitches, yarn over, and pull together. Okay, now because we work a decrease on this end and an increase at the beginning of the row, this row still will remain the same in stitch count. Okay, and that goes for each row that we work. Okay, so now we're going to turn. And at the beginning of this row, we're simply going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So the rows, the 2 rows that follow this will be a repeat of the 2 rows that I just showed you. So as far as the edging goes, rows 3 and 4, we're just going to repeat those for rows 5 and 6. And just to be clear, again, we're just going to work this all the way across and single crochet in the last stitch, as we don't work any decreases or increases on this particular row. So go ahead and finish this row and the following 2 rows, and then fasten off at the end of row 6. So row 1 ends on the other side with working 3 double crochets instead of 2 in that last row end, since this is the side that where we are going to be having some increases again for the first row. And then again we turn, and for row 2 we just single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and then the beginning of row number 3 on the other end we will have the decrease, and then at the end of row 3 we will have the increase, and then again row 4 single crochet in each stitch across, and then rows 5 and 6 is a repeat of rows 3 and 4, in which you begin row 5 with a decrease, a single crochet decrease, single crochet in each stitch across, and then an increase or 2 double crochets at the end of the row. Okay, and then the last row, of course, single crochet in each stitch across. So I hope that's clear as far as how to work the optional edging for the sides. You also note that I did not tie the end strings in knots, and the reason for that is I just didn't want the knots to be shown along the edge, but this should not be a problem at all, because once you run these strings under the light colored stitches and you know, do that. Well, let me go ahead and do one for you. It's just the same as I showed you earlier in the video. It's just there is not a knot attached. So what we can do is just run these under the light colored stitches, and I'm going to do this for a couple of inches if I can, and that way it will provide a lot of resistance and friction amongst the stitches and the threads so that it will not pull out. Let me show you. Let's go ahead. That should be plenty. Okay, so I've pulled that all the way in, and that looks rather nice. And so after doing that, I am simply going to trim this, and then I am going to work the other strands in a like manner, again under the like colored stitches, and then I will show you the finished product.
Well, I hope you enjoyed making the easy chevron granny square throw with me today. If you did, I would love to hear from you. And if you ever want to send me a photo of your work, you can always post directly to my Bonnie Bay Crochet social media, which is listed in the video description below, or you can always send it to my email address, again, in the video description below. Well, thank you for joining me for this project today. God bless. Bye-bye.